أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Surah 50 Al-Qaf. Title: Since Qaf is its opening word, this surah came to be known by that word. Period of revelation. There is no authentic report to indicate the exact date of the surah's revelation. Reflecting on its subject matter indicates that it must have been sent down in the second phase of the Meccan period, corresponding to the phase from the second to the fifth year of the Prophet's career. We have already discussed the special features of this phase in the introduction to Surah Al-An'am. It appears that this surah was revealed in the fifth year of the Prophet's career, when the unbelievers' opposition to Islam had become intense, although they had not yet taken to torturing Muslims. Subject matter and themes. Authentic reports state that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to recite verses from this surah in Eid prayers. A lady companion, Hisham bint Haritha, who was the Prophet's neighbor, states, "I managed to memorize Surah Qaf, as I often heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, reciting its verses in his Friday sermons. Some reports indicate that he used to recite it in Fajr prayer as well. It is thus clear that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, regarded Qaf as a significant surah, which would explain why he made a point of reciting and thus conveying its contents to as many people as possible." On studying this surah, one readily realizes its significance. The doctrine of the hereafter constitutes the subject matter of the entire surah. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, made his call to Islam in Mecca, the Meccans were astounded to learn about the doctrine of man's resurrection and his accountability for his actions, which they thought impossible. It was beyond them to believe that, after death and physical disintegration, the body could be revived after thousands of years and brought back to life. They found it improbable. This surah was sent down by Allah in response to their reservations. Its brief yet pithy statements adduce the eventuality of the hereafter and arguments for its inevitability. At the same time, it cautions that the truth of the hereafter is incontrovertible, regardless of whether they consider it as something astonishing or irrational and reject it. It is an unalterable reality that Allah knows perfectly well the location of each and every particle of their disintegrated dead bodies. With a slight gesture, He will reunite all these particles, and man will be recreated exactly as he was. Likewise, their notion that they are free in this world to act as they like and are not answerable to anyone is a delusion. Allah is fully aware of each and every utterance and action of theirs, as well as the thoughts that cross their minds. His angels watch and record all of these. At the appointed hour, at a single call, all the dead will come out of the earth as new foliage emerges soon after rain. Then their indifference towards the hereafter will be over, for they will see with their own eyes all that they reject today. They will be taken to account for all that they said and did. Today, they dismiss the doctrines of divine recompense, reward, and punishment, and the existence of paradise and hell as incredible. However, on the day of judgment, these will be evident truths. On account of their rejection of truth, they will be hurled into the same hellfire that they today reject as implausible. Today, they dismiss paradise as something untenable. However, on that day, they will see others entering paradise, those who follow the straight way out of the fear of their compassionate Lord.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate.
قاف والقرآن المجيد.
Qaf, by the glorious Quran.
بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب.
Nay, they wondered that a warner should have come to them from among themselves. The unbelievers said, "This indeed is a strange thing." Nay, they wondered that a warner should have come to them from among themselves. There was no sound rational basis for the Meccans' refusal to recognize Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a prophet. On the contrary, the cause of their refusal to do so lacked all rhyme and reason. They refused to accept the prophet's claim to be God's messenger, simply because they found it too incredible for anyone of their kind to be a warner from God. They found it impossible to believe how this could be.
أَإِذَا مِتْنَا وَكُنَّا تُرَابًا ذَلِكَ رَجْعٌ بَعِيدٌ.
What? When we are dead and reduced to mere dust, shall we be raised to life? Such a return is far-fetched. Such a return is far-fetched. This was yet another cause for their wonderment. The first cause of their wonder was that a human being had come as a warner from God. The additional cause for their wonder pertained to his teaching that all human beings will be resurrected after death and be made to face God's judgment.
قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ وَعِنْدَنَا كِتَابٌ حَفِيظٌ.
Thus do they imagine, although we know well what the earth takes away from them. With us is a record that preserves everything.
بَلْ كَذَّبُوا بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ فَهُمْ فِي أَمْرٍ مَّرِيجٍ.
They gave the lie to the truth when it came to them, so they are now in a state of great perplexity.
أَفَلَمْ يَنظُرُوا إِلَى السَّمَاءِ فَوْقَهُمْ كَيْفَ بَنَيْنَاهَا وَزَيَّنَّاهَا وَمَا لَهَا مِن فُرُوجٍ.
Did they never observe the sky above them, how we built it and beautified it, and it has no cracks?
وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ زَوْجٍ بَهِيجٍ.
And we have spread out the earth and have set upon it firm mountains and have caused it to bring out plants of all beauteous kinds.
تَبْصِرَةً وَذِكْرَى لِكُلِّ عَبْدٍ مُنِيبٍ.
All these are to serve as eye-openers and as a lesson to every being who is prone to turn to the truth.
وَنَزَّلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً مُبَارَكًا فَأَنبَتْنَا بِهِ جَنَّاتٍ وَحَبَّ الْحَصِيدِ.
We also sent down blessed water from the heaven, wherewith we caused gardens and harvest grain to grow.
وَالنَّخْلَ بَاسِقَاتٍ لَهَا طَلْعٌ نَضِيدٌ.
And tall palm trees with their thickly clustered spades.
رِزْقًا لِلْعِبَادِ وَأَحْيَيْنَا بِهِ بَلْدَةً مَيْتًا كَذَلِكَ الْخُرُوجُ.
All this as sustenance for our servants. And thus we do bring the dead land back to life with water. Such shall be the coming forth of human beings from the earth.
كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح وأصحاب الرس وثمود.
In the past, Noah's people and the people of Ras and Thamud gave the lie to messengers.
وعاد وفرعون وإخوان لوط.
And so did Ad and Pharaoh and Lot's brethren.
وأصحاب الأيكة وقوم تبع كل كذب الرسل فحق وعيد.
And the people of Aika and the people of Tuba, they all gave the lie to the messengers. Thereafter, my threat of chastisement against them was fulfilled.
أفعينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد.
Did we then become worn out by the first creation? Not at all, but they are in doubt about a fresh creation.
وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ.
Surely, we have created man, and we know the promptings of his heart, and we are nearer to him than even his jugular vein.
إِذْ يَتَلَقَّى الْمُتَلَقِّيَانِ عَنِ الْيَمِينِ وَعَنِ الشِّمَالِ قَعِيدٌ.
Moreover, there are two scribes, one each sitting on the right and the left, recording everything.
مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ.
He utters not a word, but there is a vigilant watcher at hand.
وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنْتَ مِنْهُ تَحِيدٌ.
Lo, the agony of death has indeed come with the truth. That is what you had sought to avoid.
وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ الْوَعِيدِ.
And then the trumpet was blown. This is the day of the promised chastisement.
وَجَاءَتْ كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَّعَهَا سَائِقٌ وَشَهِيدٌ.
Everyone has come, each attended by one who will drive him on, and another who will bear witness.
لَقَدْ كُنْتَ فِي غَفْلَةٍ مِّنْ هَذَا فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ.
You were heedless of this. Now we have removed your veil, and so your vision today is sharp. Man's vision on the day of judgment will be very sharp insofar as he will be able to see clearly. All that takes place on that day is as all that was foretold by God's prophets.
وَقَالَ قَرِينُهُ هَذَا مَا لَدَيَّ عَتِيدٌ.
His companion said, "Here is he who was in my charge." His companion said, the word companion here refers to the angel who drove that person to God's judgment.
أَلْقِيَا فِي جَهَنَّمَ كُلَّ كَفَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ.
The command was given, cast into hell every hardened, stubborn unbeliever,
مَنَّاعٍ لِلْخَيْرِ مُعْتَدٍ مُرِيبٍ.
who hinders good, exceeds the limits, is immersed in doubts.
الذي جعل مع الله إلها آخر فألقياه في العذاب الشديد.
And has set up another deity with Allah. Hurl him into the grievous torment.
قال قرينه ربنا ما أطغيته ولكن كان في ضلال بعيد.
His companion said, I did not incite him to rebel. He was far gone into error of his own accord. His companion said, here the word companion denotes the Satan who is attached to that disobedient person as his watchman in this world.
قال لا تختصموا لدي وقد قدمت إليكم بالوعيد.
It was said, do not remonstrate in my presence. I had warned you.
ما يبدل القول لدي وما أنا بظلام للعبيد.
My word is not changed, and never do I inflict the least wrong upon my servants.